the show, man.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to PCG Live. And guess what? We are all still here and healthy. Even though you physically can't see Andre, he's here with us too.
Yes, he
Oh, y'all
is.
want to see me? Y'all want to see me? There you go.
Uh-oh.
I'm at a drive-through right now.
Hold on. They still can't see you yet. Ready? Did you turn the camera back on?
Yeah. I'm at a drive-through right now. KFC.
This dude's at a KFC drive-through right now, just discovering the secret fries or whatever they're called right now.
That's what they call it, the secret fries. What
Oh,
the heck is
secret
that?
fries. So I was right.
Well, they're not a secret anymore. Andre found them.
Andre found them.
I'm
Yeah,
here.
the
I'm
secret's
here.
out.
So as you can see, guys, we're all here. We're all healthy. We're all okay. So obviously we are survivors of this awesome Corona outbreak.
Well, for now.
Yeah, we're all home, but hey, you know what? Nothing's gonna stop us from gaming. It's so funny. I've been seeing crazy memes, and it's actually perfect. They're just like, it shows people panicking, and it says normal people, and then it says gamers, and it shows gamers like laughing. So I find that absolutely hilarious.
I know it's a little nutty.
Yeah.
I've seen all the toilet paper things and stuff, and then like people are making other videos. Like I saw one of a guy doing math on like sheets of toilet paper
Oh,
and
I
how much
seen
you
that. I
need, and
seen that today. I seen that
I'm
today.
like, I mean, it makes sense. So
Mhm. Hilarious. But no, we're all here. We're all okay. In case you guys didn't know, real quick, I'll just release this. The lounge is closed until further notice. We don't know until for how long, but um, game on, my friends. Game on. So this is our time.
yes,
This is our time. So,
yes, it is our time.
but yeah. So a lot of stuff going on with gaming. Um,
Yep,
kinda. Kind of a
kind of.
lot of stuff. But we have a lot of stuff to talk about, and we're going to try to cram
Oh
it
yeah.
all into this hour. So, um, a lot of video game companies and stuff are supporting what's going on. There's a lot of sales that have been going on and dropping for prices. In
Hmm.
case you didn't know, Borderlands Deluxe Edition is $39.99 right now.
Yes.
Woo, 39. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So, if you haven't already gotten it, now is definitely a good time if you want to get into Borderlands because that's the deluxe. And the deluxe is cheaper than what the full game is.
Especially on Steam.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
It just released on Steam this month.
hmm hmm
So
but there's a lot of other games that are on sale too. But I'm not gonna sit here and
yeah.
go through the list, so you guys can go look for yourself. So, um,
GameStop actually, and we're going to be talking about them in a little bit too.
hmm
Van's gonna be talking about them.
True, very true. Um, they released Doom a day early.
Oh, did they release it today?
Yeah, they released it today because
Mhm.
I saw something on Twitter, and our boy Dwoley, who is currently in Florida right now.
Be safe out there,
Um,
Dolan.
yes, please be safe. I went to go pick up his collector's edition that he got,
hmm
and I messaged him earlier, and I was like, "Did you see this tweet?" And he goes, "Well, yeah, because they're opening at 8 o'clock," and I'm like, "I think they meant all day because they wouldn't send anything on Twitter like that because they already do early releases
hmm
regardless." But so we called up, and they're like, "Yep, we're doing it all day."
Yeah.
So I was like, "All right, I'll go get it for you then."
Yeah, all stores are obviously they're not doing midnight releases
No,
during this
definitely.
situation. So, but in case you guys didn't know, um, if you're trying to find a Nintendo Switch right now, it's not gonna happen. There are no Nintendo Switches anywhere, and I'm
Van,
not
tell the
talking about
story,
the
bro.
light.
You
I'm
know,
Tell
I
the
I,
story of what you
I
went
know
through.
I know that you were aggravated about it, man, but like I'm sitting there and I was kind of laughing the whole time. I'm
like
sorry.
what was more frustrating is because I just wanted to get the kid his Switch. That's his birthday present, and I just wanted to get the kid this damn Switch. And like everywhere I was going, they were
I get
literally
that.
sold out, and not even the lights. Like that's what I didn't get. Like all you non-gamers, go to the light. Stop playing. You don't know why you want the regular Switch. I know why I want the regular Switch. You don't know why you want the regular Switch. Get the light.
They might know why they want the regular Switch though.
That's all them, Van. That's all them panicking mothers out there and fathers that don't know what to do with their kids because they're at home.
Yeah,
So that's them panicking, going to buy whatever the best thing they can get is.
yeah. And everyone asked for a Switch. And I do feel Animal Crossing might have a little bit to do with it, but I honestly felt like if Animal Crossing had to do with it, everyone would have got the lights.
It
Like
was
it
it
wouldn't have
was
been the switches.
Animal Crossing is a very minute
Yeah.
at this current moment, minute reason why. Because I'll say it like this: if Pokemon didn't do this, and Smash Bros didn't do this, I know Animal Crossing's big, but it's not on the level of like
Kyle,
Pokemon.
I'm gonna tell you though, I guarantee you because of this, Animal
Yeah.
Crossing sales are gonna go through the roof. You're gonna see
Oh no, no.
record-breaking
Oh,
sales
I totally agree with that.
because of
I
this.
totally agree with that because of the situation we're in
Mm,
at the moment.
mm.
But I mean, I was like, if that's the reason, I would be shocked if it was
Um,
solely Animal Crossing.
yeah, nah, not at all. But it was funny. There was a lot of jokes saying that they should release Animal Crossing early, because of this.
Well, which is funny because they released Doom early because of this.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I think it's actually good. I will give credit to GameStop on this one. I think it's actually good that they released Doom today and then Animal Crossing tomorrow. That way, because they can keep the crowds down.
I'm standing in line for GameStop, and every single time, it never fails. I'm
Mhm.
standing there, and nobody was in line in front of me, and three sales clerks, not one of them said anything to me. And I was there for a good 20 minutes, and I literally looked up at the sky, and I said, Lord, why do I continue to do this?
It's
Like,
because you have a wanted poster van at every GameStop, and it says, "This guy hates us." So when you see him, treat him like he's supposed to be treated, like
uh,
a dick. That's
Treat
Andre,
what
him
the game
like
says.
he's supposed to be treated.
Andre,
Wow.
and you know what? Like, I would take that as a joke if it wasn't every single time that I went in there. Like, I would not take you seriously, but I kind of have to, considering every single time I go into a GameStop, there is a guys. You know, I never go in, and anytime I go into a GameStop, I always message you. Like, I'm not like I don't message you after the fact. I always message you like I'm gonna do something I really don't want to do every single time, and then every single time I leave, I have a story to tell you.
This
Like
is
it
fact,
doesn't fail. It doesn't
actual
No,
fail.
facts here.
Like I wish I was wrong. I really do. I wish I was wrong. It's crazy. It's crazy.
No, I feel that.
But and like it lasted all but 2 seconds. The conversation. The guy was like, "Can I help you?" I was like, "Do you guys have any Nintendo Switches?" And no, not the lights. He goes, "No, we're sold out." He's like, "Every GameStop around is sold out." I said, "Okay," and walked right out. Don't want any more of a conversation.
I'm about to say, I think it's so weird that nobody's buying the lights.
Isn't it weird? Like
That's
I
kind of weird.
again, like I know why I don't want them. You know what I mean? And it had nothing to do with like what's a better system or anything
Well,
like that. It's literally just because of the Joy Cons. That was
I'm
it.
about to say, let's put it this way: the three of us know why we don't get a Switch Lite
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
we want the full effect of the Switch with the TV and bringing it portable.
Right. Right. Right.
But other people may not know that, so
Right.
it's kind of weird that it's all the switches are gone and like not one Switch Lite is gonna
no.
because they're
Also,
more
anyone
colorful.
Mm.
anyone that sells them, I noticed. Like I was at GameStop a few days ago, and I noticed the guy was telling the lady about how to about the switches, and he said if you get the Switch Lite, then you can't play on the TV. So like your kid can't play on the TV, and this and that. So that right there automatically is a turn off point for parents because they're like they're gonna be bothering me or they're gonna
Yeah,
be.
okay.
But I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, but if anything, just get them a Switch Lite so that way they don't bother you and that
so
they
they
have
don't need the TV
self-contained.
exactly.
So they don't. I mean, they don't need the TV. They can just play it handheld.
Yeah, but
And they're,
then if you
and they're
have four
stuck playing
kids,
handheld.
you're buying four Switches compared to just having one
Right.
Switch where they all can play off the same screen. You know what I mean?
All right. So let me rephrase that. If you're a single parent out there who just wants to get one Switch for your only daughter or son, get the Switch Lite so they
Yeah.
don't bother you on the TV.
Yeah. Yeah. So, thank you.
And
Yeah.
that's my.
So it's frustrating. I mean, it was frustrating. To have to go around all over the place and try to find that damn thing. So, um, thank you, Captain Cat.
Hi,
Um,
Cat. Love you too. Thank you.
so let's say in that my lovely experience at GameStop, yet again, the GameStop adventure continues. Um, yeah. So if
Hold
you
on.
want to switch,
I'm just waving the cat right now because she can't hear. So just
oh,
wait. Anyway,
so
continue.
so but let's segue into that. Some GameStop news, and this GameStop news infuriates me. Kind of, it just kind of puts GameStop in the place and explains kind of like who they are, like who they think they are.
Oh,
Uh, I want to pull up this article.
the
Van, don't get them more mad
other
at you.
the other news. I'm sitting here laughing because I'm thinking Van's still talking about his story, and I'm like, oh wait, no, the other news.
Yeah,
Yeah, he said segue. That's why he said segue.
yep, other news,
Oh,
right?
I didn't hear segue.
Nope.
My
Oh
God,
wow, I'm
I
surprised
got
you didn't.
problems. Oh my God! See, this is what happens when we skip a week. I totally miss segues. Like segue. We need,
Oh
right.
God,
we need that
don't get
graphic.
Van started with this, Kyle. Don't get Van started on this article, man.
But
All right.
well, you know what? Before he continues with this, it's like I'm kind of aggravated because a certain somebody that worked at Nintendo just joined them, and it's like, shit.
But is that official though? Because I didn't read the whole article. Is
They
that
said he joined the board of directors.
which?
Reggie's on the board of directors.
Yeah, it's 100%. He's definitely with them.
He's
All right.
definitely with them.
So so this article is from GameSpot. GameStop says it's an essential retail, won't close stores amid state government recommendations. GameStop considers itself an essential retail and would like managers to state as much if authorities come to shut them down. GameStop has issued a memo to its stores instructing them to remain open during the coronavirus outbreak. Even that policy defies state orders. According to the note, if the authorities attempt to shut down the game retailer by deeming them non-essential, managers are to respond. The company views it as essential retail. The instructions include a flyer to hand to law enforcement in case the need arises. Um, I'm sorry, if the police are going to shut you down, your
Wait a minute.
manager's not stopping them from shutting it down.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did they really tell their managers if the authorities come, give them a flyer that says, well, we're staying open, actually? They're going to be like, get your ass in the car.
Yeah, like
Really?
it is a law. Like it is a law that they will get shut down. Like and companies will get fined, and you can actually lose your business license.
Yes. Yeah, because GameStop's are franchise. Like, we have franchisees there. So you're just going to tell your franchisees, if they come, just send them a flyer saying they said it was
Tell them shut up.
open.
The place where they say, tell them shut up.
Yeah, the police is gonna be like, yeah, sir, leave the store now.
We're taking you downtown.
Yeah. So, guys, needless to say, no matter what, they're gonna end up shutting down. I don't know who
Yeah,
you think you are,
Oh,
GameStop.
God, yeah.
You ain't God. So,
for real. What y'all thinking?
but right now they don't have to shut down. So I don't know why they're doing this anyways, because they're not at that point.
Not at that point yet.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're prepared. See, it's kind of funny. I'm going to get a little political here. Sorry. It's kind of funny that GameStop is taking the proactive approach, saying that, well, if it does happen, then you stay open. And if the cops come, give them a flyer. They're taking the proactive approach, whereas, a certain El Presidente that we have kind of takes the reactive approach on things. So that's my political rant for the day. Sorry.
It wasn't bad.
I kept it really good today.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a few other things I would like to say that he said, but I'm not
You know what I hate about it? Because to me, it's unfair to the workers. I got a whole bunch of people I see all over Facebook. I know you guys see it too. Everyone's worried right now. Like, what are we gonna do? What do we do with unemployment? What do we do if our job lays us off and we can't? Like, everyone would love to stay at home, and everyone would love to hear this whole you get a free check and this and that, but we don't know details. We don't know this and that. So for GameStop employees to be stuck in a position like that. So if they say there's 10 cases in Taunton right now, God forbid, and you know that as a worker, you have the option of saying, I'm not going to work.
I just want to let you know, just real quick, that there are actually people stationed in Morton Hospital right now that is positive with corona.
I've heard that. I just didn't want to really bring that up because I didn't know if it was confirmed or not.
Yeah,
But
no, because I went to the hospital today because I had to do some tests for my stomach, and they're very strict. Like
that's crazy.
my wife
I'm
couldn't come
sure.
in. She couldn't come in with my son, and they said no one under the age of 18 can even go in the hospital.
What?
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
that's my
unless they're being treated though,
yeah.
right?
They just said no one under the age of 18 can
I'm
come
about
in.
to say, but I mean, if they have to be treated though, I would
Yeah,
hope they let them
But
in.
that goes into my case. So say with the cases like Van's saying, there's people that have it right now. So that's going to put fear into people of I'm not going to work,
mm,
and you're pretty much saying as GameStop, well, anyone that refuses that's going to get fired technically because they're standing up acting like they're heroes or something like no you're going to work. They're pretty much saying we're not bowing down to anybody. You're going to work because GameStop doesn't run itself. It takes employees. I don't like the stance on that. GameStop, the friends that I know that work there, I feel bad for y'all. If I'm y'all, I'm already filing unemployment now in advance because if this thing gets worse, we're all praying it doesn't, but if it gets worse, you're stuck in there because your company decides that they need that extra dollar. That's ridiculous, man.
No, I totally agree with that, Andre. It's a little crazy that you even put this statement out.
For
Like,
real. You're not even medical. You're not in the medical field. You're
no,
not
you're
in
no.
what the heck?
Let's put it this way. I walked into the GameStop today, and the first thing the guy was doing, and glad he was doing, was putting on his gloves, and I'm sure he sprayed and stuff like that, and so. And even before I went in, luckily I have a bottle of sanitizer in my car, which probably is not the best spot at the moment, but I before I went in, put some sanitizer, washed my hands, went inside and stuff. I mean, they're practicing safe, work um, practices, but at the same time, you're still putting them at huge risk anyway,
Exactly.
because not
Exactly.
everybody's going to do what I do, which is,
Yep.
you have a bottle of hand sanitizer, put it on, do that, and all that other stuff. They're not going to do that. I mean, at least I'm glad that they have a sign on the front of their doors saying, you know, due to the situation, only 10 customers at a time.
Yeah, and they're also not doing trade-ins. You can't trade in right now.
Which that's whatever. It's not even
Yeah.
a big deal. But like, I'm glad that at least they're taking the route of 10 people per
Yeah.
store that are allowed inside. Which actually I would assume if they're talking about the employees as well, maybe it's whoever's working and then subtract that and then the people coming in and stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, even with 10 people in there, you don't know who's coming in. You don't know if they've sanitized, washed their hands, or anything like that. Like, so you are putting your employees at risk. And
Yep.
the employees, I mean, I know everybody needs money. I mean, I have another whole opinion thing about that anyway, involving, freezing and shit. But the
Yeah.
point is, like, a lot of these companies eventually are going to, completely shut down. Like, I'm surprised, like, Best Buy hasn't shut down yet. I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
am surprised. Like, I set up my
So
pre-orders for Doom and
I went
Animal Crossing
to
for tomorrow.
Best Buy in Kingston, or Plymouth today, and they were
Yeah.
closed for cleaning, and they're going to
They're
Oh,
open
reopen
for
okay.
tomorrow.
cleaning.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what everyone seems to be doing. The whole like few hours shutdown. Like Super Walmart near me, the 24-hour one in Rainham. Instead of 24 hours, it closes at like I think it's 8, 11, something like that. They
Which
close all, but so
the one on 44?
yeah. They just added the hours to them. Like they're cutting down early too.
Oh wow. I think that it's supposed to be opening special hours because like the Stop and Shops are opening special hours for elderly people.
Yeah. For the
Yep.
seniors. Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Which
So
I like that, by the way. But GameStop gets me mad because you're a smaller store, and with it being a gaming thing, you never know who had. Like Van just said, I didn't even know about the. I've heard about it because I follow the Taunton page, but
mhm.
I didn't like look into it. But you don't know who's walking into GameStop, and it's a small store. So if someone goes in there and has it, and they're touching cases, like, hey, I'm going back home to be quarantined. You don't know. It's a small environment. What makes you bigger than Walmart in them? And they're even cutting down hours. So
Mm.
what makes you think you're any better than Walmart? Are you kidding me?
So like my personal opinion on this whole thing, and me being a business owner, that is very strongly affected by this, that our daily operations matter to us surviving. Um,
Mm-hmm.
at first we continued going and we said we're going to keep going until the government says that we can't go anymore. And now there's a lot of precautions that are put into place to help protect us. But even before then, this has gone to a severe, pretty bad situation that we didn't all see coming at all. Um, we didn't see it getting this bad. And with
Nobody should be getting this bad.
and
Nobody.
and it is it's highly contagious. So now the problem is not so much the death rate. The people that are dying from it are the people that are susceptible to a higher chance of even getting it, for one, and for two, have health problems. Um, it's very rare people between the certain ages to get it. Not excusing the death rate, not excusing it. Just when people start talking death rate, we have to be realistic. The death numbers are high, but it's the percentage of how many people have it to how many people die, and the numbers of how many people have it is so tremendous
Yeah.
that it is a low percentage. But but needless to say, it's not that PCG didn't care. That wasn't the problem. It wasn't like, oh, PCG don't care. They don't care if people got it. No, it wasn't as serious at that time. And now it's so serious that the spread so fast. We could have still stayed open. Like right now,
Mhm.
we could still be open. There's no one saying that we have to close. It just doesn't make sense to be open. Now, see,
Right. Nobody's gonna come in.
right, my cat only wants to make love to me when like it's not important. Like when I'm doing something. Like now she's like rubbing up against me and like
You
when
had
I'm
all the you have all the animals going. You had your puppo, you had the kitty going. Yeah, you're doing good right
it's
now.
only when I'm doing something. Like or like when I'm going to bed and like see she wants to be in my face.
Please
Like
pet me, please.
but yeah, so like in that sense, it with me with what we do, everyone's touching a lot of things. So our cleaning like procedure was a lot higher. So like we wiped everything after every single use, and that was important.
Yeah.
But there's still other ways that people can exchange it other than the wiping. Someone's just coughing on something, like say the arm of the chair or something. There's so many different ways it can spread so fast, and
Yep.
the person that's getting it might not be the person that is going to die from it, but that person could give it to somebody else, that could give it to somebody else, that
That
could give it to
can, yeah.
somebody else that
Right.
will die of it. And that's what they're trying to control is how fast is spreading to those that could die. Like it doesn't matter what age you can die. They don't want anyone dying from it, and that's what they're trying to
Exactly.
prevent.
Well, the other thing I saw on the news today is that a lot of most of the people in the hospital right now, let's say it like this, are people that are under the age of 65
Hmm.
that have
Yeah.
contracted the virus
Hmm.
and in the hospital
Hmm.
right
Hmm.
now. Which, so
And
when you
what's
see
funny,
these,
they don't
yeah,
even want you to go to the hospital if you have it. They want you to call a
Yeah.
number
Yep.
and self-contain, and they'll tell you what to do from there.
yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, there are now they're coming out with separate hospitals
Hmm.
solely for the coronavirus,
Yep.
which
Albert,
is
stop calling my boy during the show.
oh my god.
I'm only kidding, Albert.
I'll
You
call
can call
you
him anytime.
after.
he's like
Um,
he's like you won't answer the phone. I'm joining chat.
how dare you? No, I call him after. But yeah, like there's separate hospitals now for the coronavirus,
Mhm.
and which is good. But again, we have to be aware of this. Like the kids that are on spring break right now, up like in Texas, that you're seeing on TV right now, and they're all partying, like whatever. Not a good idea.
No.
Not a good
Yeah,
idea.
it's
Wait, we
terrible.
were all that age. We were all that age, and like if this was going on even at that age,
Mhm.
I wouldn't be down there
Right.
right
Right.
now.
Yeah.
I would still be here. I would try to be as quarantine as possible right now. Like, I mean, right now I'm fine, but who knows what can happen with this? Like the spread, like we were talking about, the spread is just so much more
Yeah.
than
Hmm.
like the flu. So all these people that are, I don't know why, still saying that the flu is deadlier. I'm
Mm.
like,
It's
it
not the
might be
point.
right now,
Yeah, it's
but
not the
you
point.
don't know what this virus is going to do, because if it's affecting the young people and young people are in the hospital, this could possibly mean that it's getting more aggressive, which is what
Yeah.
I've been telling other people lately is you don't know if this is going to get more aggressive. And if
Hmm.
it does, then that's really, really bad. So you just
People,
have
people, people keep forgetting that, Kyle. What you just said. People keep forgetting that even though this isn't as deadly as like an Ebola or Zika or H1N1, even when that was going on, what people forget is that none of those spread as bad as this. So it's
yeah,
almost
this is
like this.
horrible.
This is the biggest spread we've had ever. Like they talk
Right.
about on the news. This is the biggest story since 9/11. Just think about that. Just think about how dangerous that is. And like Van said earlier, you could have still had people going by there, but that's called using wisdom and saying, you know what, I'm not gonna take the risk to put someone else at risk for the money, because that's what GameStop is doing to me. So that's what we're talking about.
Right.
That they have the money already, and the company's already getting shut down anyway.
Mhm.
So someone like
Mhm.
Van could have easily been like, "Nah, I need that extra dollar. I need that." And this is a business that's local.
Mhm.
GameStop's worldwide. So why put that risk at people and on your employees? That's
Mhm.
what aggravates me. And like you said, college people at the beach and stuff. I was crazy when I was young, but I wasn't stupid.
Right.
Common sense is common sense, man. I'm not gonna go to no freaking beach. And then even seeing them, and I don't know if you've seen it on Facebook, Kyle. They had a side by side of how London was it not London, Italy looks right now, and then how the Florida beach looks right now, and it's like completely empty out there, and people dying, and they got videos of people like singing, like
Weren't you
doing
playing with the
music
kids?
on balconies, man, like to keep each other entertained. Like that's real, man, and we better hope that doesn't come this way, because if you get locked down, you literally can't go outside. Like you can't.
Andre, to be honest, it's getting to that point.
It
It's,
is.
I mean, I hate to say it, but we are very close, in my opinion, very close to having the whole country shut down.
Yeah, because you got
They
idiots like
they came
Florida,
out
the Florida people.
they came out with a report the other day, and this might be a little overblown, but I don't know because I'm not a medical expert. But they said that possibly in the next 8 weeks, that the state of California, half of the population could be infected with corona.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times. Well, actually,
In the next
CNN had said that.
right in the next 2 months,
Yeah,
which is nuts. That's the whole state of Rhode Island
yeah, that's
and so
insane.
and some of Mass, which is insane. Like if it did get to that point, we what do we do? We have to. Like I'm not
Yeah,
trying to panic anybody, but like you have to take the necessary precautions.
exactly.
Like not be, reactive like certain people, but
What?
you have to bite this in the bull. Like people are sitting there like saying that China blamed us and stuff. It's like stop enough with the blame game. It's like we could sit here and blame China for doing it. We could and China could blame us for something else and shit. The blame game doesn't help us anymore.
At
It's
all.
not. It has nothing. It does
Hmm.
nothing. You have to bite this in the butt and just be productive.
Oh my
Like
god.
when people don't really know about this, but a lab in Canada isolated the coronavirus and now has made like multiple samples to test on,
Hmm.
which is huge.
Mhm.
But
That's
nobody's
big.
talking about that. Everybody's talking about all the negative stuff, like people buying out stores for toilet paper and going crazy. Everybody's worried about that, but not worried about the positive news and
The
stuff,
solutions.
the solutions exactly. So,
Yeah. So, oh my god, these
but anyway,
fucking.
GameStop, the damn kitty.
It's
But
over now.
but
Anywho.
GameStop for real. Just shut it down if you have to. Like don't make it hard on yourself,
Mhm.
please, and
Mhm.
your employees.
Hmm.
So, moving on. Moving on.
Moving on.
MK11 Spawn gameplay. Incredible. Let me tell you, right? I was excited for MK11 at the beginning, and then that slowly died out. Um,
Hmm.
the gameplay for this has been the best character gameplay that I've seen for any video game, any fighting game ever. Ever.
Really,
Ever. Like,
really.
dude, the what they allowed Spawn to do in this game is phenomenal. absolutely phenomenal. And then like the artwork for him and everything. I'm a huge Spawn fan,
Yep.
so seeing what they did with him, I way better than the Joker, way better than any character. Like this is just, it makes me want to play Mortal Kombat. That's how good it is. It really makes me want to play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I watched it before. I'm watching it again. His style is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love his moves.
He looks so fun. Oh, and to
Yeah.
answer Albert's question, Albert says Animal Crossing though, yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
Depending
See,
on what kind of game you get into. But I think right now in this day and age, if you're just looking for something fun to kind of hop into and not take super serious and a game you can get in and out and you can be sociable with others, I say yes.
I agree. I agree. I say yes, and I hated Animal Crossing
Hmm.
for the longest time.
Same here. Same here.
So
Yep.
I say yay.
In this time in my life right now is someone like I need Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm. This couldn't have been the more perfect game to come out right now, honestly.
But
Like we
if you
said before.
if you're looking for a serious grindy game that like you need to play and to gain life or whatever, I would say no. So, anything you want to say on MK11, Andre?
I seen a lot of memes where they're showing Soul Calibur spawn, and then they show this spawn and say, "Don't ever do that again. Let's just keep it MK." So that to me, looking at the gameplay you shared and all that stuff, Spawn looks like how he's supposed to look. Everybody been wanting Spawn for years in Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat, like
Yep.
years. So
Yep.
the fact that they delivered, man. I mean, the one that I give MK credit on is it's been taking leaps for years. Like it's real bold. It picks up random characters, Alien, Predator. I mean, they do their job, man, and they're like the Smash Brothers for rated M games. Like they just be picking up every character. They get huge rosters. Spawn is like the best they could have ever got.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Go ahead, Kyle. You can introduce the next topic.
Next topic. Well, I gotta back out. Hello? There we go. Well, some more GameStop news. Like we said before, Reggie Fils-Aimé has joined the GameStop board of directors. Reggie, what are you doing?
You know what? Hold on, Kyle, can I say this? Can I say this? Because I know this is your guy. I'm just gonna say this real quick, and this Van's gonna feel this. Do you think Reggie is trying to bust a Tom Brady right now?
Oh, how dare you? How,
And you know why I say that?
how
You know why I
dare
say that?
you?
You know why I say that, Van? And you know where I'm going with this, Van.
This motherfucker.
You know,
So-
like this.
So Reggie has been real good with Nintendo. He's brought Nintendo to life. He's been the man. He got a few rings with him. You know what I'm saying? So I think he feels like, like but Brady did. Brady going to Tampa Bay. Feel like you got to win somewhere else now to prove your legacy because there's no other reason. So what if Reggie decided, let me go save the worst company that Van hates, and let me bring him back to life. Let me go to GameStop and bring GameStop back. Do you think Reggie is busting a Brady, Van?
I can't tell if Van's aggravated or laughing his ass off.
Van knows it's true. Going to Tampa Bay, come on now. Going to Tampa Bay out of all teams, come on now. They're the most unwinningest team in sports history.
I mean, I'm not going to go deep into sports here, but they got weapons. Let's put it that way.
They got weapons, but Kyle, come on now.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything else. I want to get super.
Brady's trying to win. Brady's trying to win for a city that's sucked for years. That's what Reggie's trying to do. He's trying to win and bring GameStop to life.
Too soon. Too soon.
I knew that one was gonna hit, Van. I've been saving that all week.
Yeah, so how I feel about that. You stayed there, Kyle?
Looks like he glitched out.
I know, right? I don't know if he's playing with us or
Medic. Why am I frozen now?
He said medic.
Oh my god! Now I'm frozen and get this random Kyle that's right here. Get rid of him. Oh my god! Oh, I may have to back out quick. the thing like just shut down on me. Like, oh, you have to verify your account. I'm like, I'm on here already.
What more verification do you need?
Oh my god, hold on. Let me back out. Technical difficulties.
Go ahead, Vin. What's your thoughts on it, Vin?
So my opinion with the whole Reggie thing, minus the Tom Brady comment, um, is I'm confused with why he would want to do it, but I'm kind of not. Um, Reggie, for somebody that has been in the gaming industry since pretty much the beginning,
Hmm.
um, GameStop has to resonate some history to him, if that makes some sense. Gaming in general, as much as they hate used games, has to find something very important with gaming.
Hmm.
So,
Uh-huh.
so with saying that, I can guarantee you that GameStop holds a place in his heart. So I think that's why he's doing it. He feels like it's an important factor for gaming, and that's kind of where he leads. Um, and that's just my opinion. I think it has a lot to do with that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so
I
I
agree
don't
with
think
that.
it has anything to do with making money or trying to prove his legacy. Um, but I think it has a lot to do with him just trying to save something that he loves.
Yeah,
I can
I
understand
definitely
that.
think it's that. I definitely think it's that. I was joking with the Brady thing, but I
Yeah.
definitely think that's what it is. It just makes sense. That's like if I got big all of a sudden and I knew my company, which is dying right now as we talk, if I had the money, I would go and try to help Microsoft and bring it back to life. So yeah,
And I think that's all that really is. Destiny here.
I mean, let's put it this way. He's on the board of directors, so it's not like he is like the main guy making all of the decisions. I mean, he can have his input because he is on the board of directors.
Kyle, you know he's gonna be the main guy.
I mean, he
Even
should be.
whatever he
I,
says is gonna work.
I mean, he should be on the board of like the main guy on the board of
When it's done
directors, but
downloading, you can play on it.
he's not. But I mean, he's just a small part of the board.
Yeah,
In order to make certain major decisions. But one of these major decisions, he probably should have said, you know, um, if the cops come to your GameStop, don't give them a flyer saying that you can stay open.
yeah,
That would not be smart.
yeah.
Just saying. But anyway, very interesting move by Reggie. Maybe he got bored. I don't know, in retirement.
Let's go back to
You gonna
Nintendo.
play on
Man.
it, Destiny?
That's what I'm saying. Let's go back to Nintendo. Maybe we gotta take a lighter role. Let's go back to Nintendo.
Yeah.
So anyway.
It makes no sense because didn't he say the reason he was leaving was to spend more time with his family and rest, like to catch up with family and rest out and enjoy missed time.
Apparently, he spent enough time with his family. I don't know. That sounded really bad. I'm sorry. Like
Spending enough time was like,
I don't have an explanation for these things.
God, he said, let me spend 2 months with my family and go to um a harder thing to deal with. That's
Well, that's
failing.
it. Maybe he wanted a new challenge.
That's a big challenge. That's a big challenge.
That's a
We
very
just
big
lost the
challenge.
GameStop.
I'm about to say that's a very big challenge, and he's not making it easier for him right now.
Yeah.
So
So
anyway, interesting.
next topic. E3 2020 canceled. So
Wow.
the real question is, did they have a choice?
Yeah. Exactly.
No. No, they didn't.
The bad luck that they had is just piling up on them.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And it just would have looked bad if they didn't cancel.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So I think it was a very key point. What's his face canceling on him, saying that he wasn't going to take any part of anything to do with E3.
Oh, Jeff Keighley.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that was a huge hit. Leonardo. Um, so with saying that, and then what else was there?
Well,
Sony not coming. That's a
um,
big deal.
the whole media debacle from last year,
Oh
giving out
yeah,
all the information.
Yep, adding that to the problem, that was a huge problem. So the problems just stack up for them in that sense. So this is almost a curse and a blessing,
Yeah, yeah,
because now they have an excuse to kind of reset themselves and try to figure things out because it was going downhill really fast for them. So this was pretty big.
yeah.
All right, let me ask you two a question. This is the question I wanted to ask you last week
Hmm.
because we didn't have it show. Is this it? Is this it for them?
I'll let you answer,
Um,
Andre.
I think that it's been going downhill for the past few years, but I think it's over as far as the big convention type thing, like where they do it as big. But I still think E3 itself will still happen as an event. I think this year is going to open the door for us to see how the directs that all of them are planning to do. I think this is
Yep.
opening the door to see how that works. So as
Hmm.
far as us going to E3 or people going to E3, I think it is over. But I think Microsoft will still do their thing because they have their own center right there anyway. I
Yep.
think they'll still have like a Microsoft event and they'll still label it E3 because Phil Spencer always references E3. But as far as the other companies, I think this is the new route, man. Like I'm cool with doing these directs. You know, of course the experience is better like PAX, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Just keep it PAX right now. Every company should do their own big thing, like Xbox does XO every year, and PlayStation does the other than last year the PSX. Just do those type of things. That way, fans can just go to play what they what they love. I don't. I think E3 is dead though, because it was already rumored. Remember last year we were talking about they were already saying while I was out there that this might be the last E3, and then they really pushed for this year. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think this is the push off the cliff.
Van.
So to pretty much sum up what Andre said, this is the last year was the last time you're going to see E3 at the way that it was. You'll
Hmm.
never see E3 like that again. There's,
Okay.
Yeah,
it's going to be a completely new, different E3. And when I say new, different, back to what E3 originally was.
yeah,
It's going to be a whole nother GDC style thing again.
yeah.
Um,
Yep.
so we'll see how that goes. But it's just this big, flashy, showy E3. I don't think we're going to do that again unless they find a way to reinvent that again. I just don't see them
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
So I'll say it like this because Van, you're taking kind of more of the developer version of it, or like developer
Not so much a developer. I
direction.
think it's going to be more media. Like I don't want to say GDC in the sense of the developers. I think you're going to see a media. It's going to be for the media because that's all E3 originally was for the media, and it's going to go back to that.
Right. That's what I probably should have
Much
said. It,
smaller, um,
Yeah. Yeah.
less money. They're not going to charge the vendors as much as they used to.
yep.
It just everything is going to be cut down right into size. You'll have the E3 feel for the week, and it's going to be if E3 was smart, they are going to make E3 a digital thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
In
Well,
this day and age, it's the best way to go forward with it. And I know what most people say, oh, well, people can do that themselves. You got to provide a channel that no one else can provide. That's got to be your goal, is to provide a service that no one else can provide
yep.
digitally.
Hmm. I would like that.
I'll say it like this then. If they went the digital direction, then E3 as we know it is dead.
Mm,
Like they won't do anything, you know, physical presence
Hmm.
anymore. If they just went straight digital, it's dead.
Yeah.
Um, with what Andre said, if they just make it like a PAX, it's dead.
Hmm.
We let's put it this way: you've got people backing out already because of the fact that they treat it like it's a normal convention. It doesn't differentiate itself from anybody from any PAX or South
Yeah.
by Southwest or Comic Con. Like I know it's different stuff, but like a Comic Con, it's not differentiating itself. There's nothing different about it.
Yeah.
Gamescom kind of does the same thing E3 does, but the only reason why that works over there is because it's in Europe. Not a lot of conventions go on in Europe. The only other one that's a big one is RGX, and
Yeah.
that's it. But like, there are so many conventions around the country that E3 just going to a PAX route, it's nobody's going to go at that point because it's not going to be different because you already have media personnel backing out of it because of that fact. And then you had things like freaking, Jeff Keighley backing out because of what happened with all the media information getting out. You had Vans boy Greg Miller get banned from it for this coming year. Not that it matters anymore because it's not happening. But like, so many problems are going on now with the media aspect of E3 that just treating it like a PAX, it's gonna die. It'll just
No. What I meant by Kyle, what I meant by treating like a PAX style, it's not necessarily PAX. I'm talking about if they do different locations every year, that would make people go. Because if you have a different location, like if you say almost like WrestleMania and PAX, how there's East, West, South, and most people try to do like what you did last year. If they switch location every year, you make people go because what happens is the people that already went, they'll still go because they get to explore a new area while being out there that time. So if they were like, oh, the next E3 will be in freaking Texas, then the E3 after that's in Boston. If you switch locations, I feel like that could really help it because it would get fans wanting to go because they're gonna want to go wherever E3's at because they know it's an opportunity to explore another area too. Because a lot of people that go to these things, like when you went to Seattle, when you go to these things, you want to see the surrounding area too. You don't just really go to E3. It's only 3 days. I mean, on PAX, you don't really go just to go that. You want to see what's in that area so you get to experience. So if they switch location for E3, I think that would be pretty big, man. I think if they were like LA, New York, well, get out of LA because they've been in LA for years, well, the whole time. So if you were like Texas and freaking even Hawaii or something, if they just went to different locations, that would be a selling point for people because people would pay just to go to those areas.
Yeah, but that would now you're talking about more of like an XO style thing, not really a PAX. PAX is always just a stationary thing, it's just in different cities.
Yeah.
This is more like an XO thing where it's like
like EXO. I would say more like EXO. Like do that, and you'll get people to go because I think that would be a fun way to experience E3 because it's not just about being in there; it's about what's around there too.
It would be interesting, but then the other aspect of it is like now you have to go into cities and make sure that they have, like different buildings and stuff like that to accommodate all these, developers and, people coming in, media, and all this other stuff. So it's like, it's a great idea. I think it would work, but then now you have to talk to the ESA about doing it and, making sure
Come
that
on,
all
man.
these
They're the
cities can
biggest.
fit it.
Come on, Kyle. We're the biggest. Game is the biggest thing in the world, man. Still to this day, and it's only gonna get bigger.
Well, I mean,
You have, you know what I mean? Like you have opportunity to have different cities try out your stuff. Like I said, I feel like where it's at and the fact that they opened it up because when E3 started, like Van said, the original way was we just waited every year until you can go online and watch these events, Ubisoft and all that. They didn't have the open to the public. So I think it's just the public when they started opening it. Most of the people that got tickets, one, the prices are bad. Like it's expensive. That's already one. Then there's another version of the price, which is way higher to get good access, which is $1,000. So the price point already is a killer. You know what I mean? That's already the shot right there. So for me, I don't personally I don't want E3 to die. Um, I don't want it to be only digital. I want it to really be like an experience like PAX was. And even when I went to E3, if you asked me, the PAX that we just had this year compared to E3 of me going last year, I would have said it was I would have hated E3 a lot more because I loved PAX. So for me, I don't want E3 to die. I just want them to make it better and worthwhile. That's all. That's my take. I just want them to make it better and worthwhile and get these companies, and that's another thing. The companies don't want to go because sometimes they don't have a lot to show. Then if they do show and it's not a lot of content, then people complain about that. So as gamers, we're part of that too because we're a spoiled bunch on top of that. So.
Yeah, I don't think the people are the issue as far as the popularity of E3 because E3 will always be super popular. So I don't think it's the popularity. It's these developers and the publishers can't afford this stuff anymore. And I think
Yeah,
E3 itself is getting ridiculous with how much they're charging to participate in these things.
it's crazy.
And that's where developers and publishers are starting to be like, hey, we're losing a lot of developers. We're losing a lot of publishers because of our overhead and the money that
Hmm.
we're spending to just try to promote a game. They're not making as much anymore for their games, especially with indies becoming so big. People are
Yeah.
just like, why am I spending $60 in the game when I can spend 15 or 20? That's why I think the whole discussion with John is like irrational when it comes to upping the price of a game, saying that customers will be paying more. Like, no, I completely disagree. I feel, dude, like I've heard people complain about $60. You think 75 or $80 is gonna make like people gonna be okay to buy it? No, because
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
not gonna. You raising the price isn't gonna make these publishers and developers make a better game. It's
Yeah.
not. It's we're not going to get it. We're not going to get it. And the problem is these publishers and developers. I'm just sick of, and this is life in general. Our economy thinks the idea of fixing things is charging more. Everything,
Yeah.
everything we
That's
do,
true.
charge more. Charging more is going to make living better, right? But you don't understand the ripple effect that causes. Now, I'm going to keep politics out of it and keep it on the strictly gaming level. You charge more for games, right? Guess
Hmm.
what? Now the living cost, as far as how much people get paid, has to go up. And that means you have to pay employees more. Guess who works for these companies? Employees. So now all it's doing is creating this vicious cycle of now the games gotta go up more because of the fact that you can't afford these artists and you can't afford these developers and programmers and everything because you're making living a higher cost. And that's the reality of it. Not saying they need to drop the prices of games. We need to hold everyone accountable for what they deserve to get with
Hmm.
$60. Stop
Mhm.
saying, "Oh, we need to raise the price." No, how about we get what we deserve for the $60? Like
I agree. I agree,
I
man.
don't think
I agree with that.
I
Yeah.
don't think a game needs to cost more than $60 for it to be a quality game. I think $60 makes sense. Now I get it. The games now to develop take way more time. Okay, then we need to pull out the games in segments. Then if that's gonna make what the game quality better, or in DLC, like make a game and then come out with DLC and then charge more for the DLC. That's what we're gonna have to do. But at the end of the day, I know people don't like that to hear that, but okay, fine. We all have to come to agreement. What is a quality game for $60 and charge that? That's it. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. So if you want to know why these games and why these developers are going out of business is because they can't afford the publishing, the PR. The PR is what's killing them. Like they're spending more
Yeah.
money in PR than anything, and E3 doesn't help. Like
No.
they're part of the problem, not a part of the solution. And that's when
No.
you have companies like PlayStation and Xbox that's very strong backing these gaming companies. Like
Hmm.
PlayStation, Xbox, Microsoft are backing these companies and helping support them. But now it's on the backs of PlayStation and Xbox. PlayStation's like, we can't afford this. Like, we're not gonna.
Yeah.
That's insane. We're not gonna come to E3 if this is what you're gonna charge us. Because why? They have a better personal experience with gamers at things like PAX or even PSX. It's a better experience that people can afford to go to.
Yep.
Which is crazy. Yeah. And that's the main thing with E3 is like they overcharge like their vendors so much
Hmm.
and
Way too
stuff.
much.
But and like you do that, but again, with what happened last year with all your media outlets, if you were still planning on charging that, you're gonna see more companies backing out of E3 in general. And that's why I honestly don't think they're gonna change their ways. I
No.
really don't. They're gonna be stubborn as shit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And and these companies are going to back out because this year all of these companies are going to realize that they are going to have the same impact doing a digital event, even if they were about to say rather than being at E3, they're going to have the
Yeah.
same impact.
and then
doing
what do these game companies want to spend all this money to come a part of E3 when all these companies are just going to end up getting shit on because of what they present anyways? People are never happy. You know what I mean? So now it's all about
that.
the show. So at that time now it's not even about the product that they're showing. It's about how they
Right.
show it. And it's like if they don't have a game ready, they're just like I don't want to show it because I don't have a game ready.
Yep.
No, yeah, I agree with that. And that's the other thing too. It's like, you think of like how Ubisoft does a conference and stuff. Like the production value of their conferences costs enough as it is.
Right, right.
Think of it like
And
the first game they always show is what?
Just
Just
Dance.
Dance.
But see, like
Yep.
we make fun of Ubi, right? But does Ubi not bring all the games? And like nobody shits on Ubi as far as the product that they bring. They bring
Yeah, because they literally bring like
no
12
no no no
Well,
no.
games.
They bring all their number one hits. Ubi
Yeah.
never
They may not
never.
be good all the
I
time, but they do
disagree with
bring them.
that.
Dude,
Only when they, Kyle, usually they bring like 12 freaking, they'll bring Ghost Recon, For Honor DLC, Just Dance. The only thing they don't be bringing is like the newer titles they announce, but they usually do bring like a lot of games to the table when they come.
They might bring a lot of games, but they don't bring the games that people are expecting.
Oh
oh,
yeah, the better ones.
They don't. That's why I'm saying like they don't bring their top games. Let's put it this way:
Assassin's
they
Creed, always bring it, always bring it. They
they didn't
have,
have an Assassin's Creed last year.
dude.
Last year was the first year they didn't have it.
Like
Right.
E3 last year was a very big exception of anything that happened.
Well,
Like
let's
Yeah.
put it. All right, so let's put it this way: there was no Assassin's Creed, but I wasn't expecting Assassin's Creed. Let's put it that way. So we'll just throw that out the window. But their conference, I crapped on it because literally they talked about Rainbow Six Siege, and in the same conference talked about another Rainbow Six game. When you still have Skull and Bones and Beyond Good and Evil to talk about. You talked about it. That's what just
but
drove me
that's
nuts.
not the
Like you
publisher, that's the
you
developer. That's
talked
the
about
developer.
right, but you talked about Beyond Good and Evil in 2018,
See,
but
but
then you don't
again,
bring it up in 2019.
but
You
then
talked about Skull and Bones in 2017 and 2018, and then
I don't know
don't
where
bring it
that
up in
game
2019.
went. We don't talk about that. I don't know
Wait,
where
where'd
that
it
game went.
go? Where
but
did it
again,
go?
that's not the publisher, that's the developers. Number Ubisoft's not the developers, they're the publishers. So when it comes to that, like if you ask me, bless you, the developers are dropping the ball on those two games. Like bad,
But
bad.
they still monitor it. Like
What
it's
it,
still, I would say people are still going to look at it and say this is Ubisoft's game. They're not
no,
going to say it's Joe Schmo's production company that's doing the game itself, but the people are going to just generalize saying, "Oh, that's an Ubisoft game."
right.
So they're going to look at Ubi.
Well, that's why they hold their Ubisoft is a lot more gentle to their studios than what most other people are. But that's like Bethesda, right? Bethesda's was trash last year. What they had to show was bad, right? But again, it's this is why they don't want to do E3 or these companies have so much problem spending all this money at E3 because what did Bethesda have to show? They had nothing to show. You know what I mean? Because nothing's done yet. They just finished pushing out this other stuff, and they're in the process of doing other things. So, but it's like we can't not go to E3. So, like, we have to go to E3. So, E3 has just become this thing. Like, if you don't go, there's a problem. When you go and you don't show anything, there's a problem. When you go and you show shit, now everyone hates you, and then there's a problem. So it's just like everyone's fed up with that, and that's
I
what.
said it's spoiled gamers. It's a lot to do. That's why I said it's about the gamers too. Because if a company comes and they show 2 3 games, it's gonna be like, where's the rest of the games?
But I
Or
think the PR can control that, though. That's where these gaming companies are going wrong. Is the
yeah,
only one that can control their PR is Nintendo.
yeah.
Nintendo is
Yeah.
the only one that, besides PlayStation. PlayStation does a very good job with PR, even though within the last year it's been absolute shit. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
but like Nintendo does a great job with communicating anything.
Mhm.
Um, and that's one of the things that are crazy about Nintendo that makes them so good all the time. These companies just have to say, hey, listen, we're not coming to E3. Our publisher, the publishers need to say, hey, our developers aren't ready for this game. So don't expect to see this at E3. Instead, they're just like, they're not coming to E3. Like,
Right.
okay, you know what I mean? And that's when gamers get upset. Now, I do agree to an extent, Andre, because we've talked about it so many times. A lot of gamers are spoiled. Us as gamers, we are spoiled, you know.
Mhm.
But uh, Mama Nintendo handles us just fine. You know what I mean? Like Nintendo, dude, like Nintendo can treat us like that dirty little whore and say and do whatever they want, and we're okay with it. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, that's what it is. Like they can tell us and do whatever we want, and we're like, okay, okay, okay. Like Fire Emblem. God damn it, they gave us another Fire Emblem character. What are you gonna deal with it? Okay,
You gotta just sit there and deal with it.
okay, okay.
That was actually more Sakurai than Nintendo at that
Yeah,
point.
no, you're right. I
Well,
like it. You don't. Too bad. I'm sorry, but like, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, it's on everybody in this industry. Not and minus the gamers. It's on everybody in this industry that allowed the
Mm,
E3 to get to where it is. So E3 has to take a step back and say, how can we fix this? GameStop. GameStop's in trouble because GameStop didn't want to change with time.
nope.
KB
right.
Toys, Toys R Us went under because they didn't want to change in time. So the
Kept
way
them
Right.
we
prices high.
no, but like,
It's not
you
even that.
did you guys know Amazon before Amazon became Amazon.com? The idea of Amazon was pitched to Toys R Us, and you know what Toys R Us said? No
Wow.
They said
one's
no.
gonna want to buy toys online. Nobody's gonna want to buy toys online.
They regretting that.
We want them to come on site. So Amazon was
Mm,
able to get people to buy into them, and now look at
Yeah.
them.
that's
So,
terrible.
and
Because
Amazon single-handedly reason why Toys R Us isn't around.
Yeah.
Toys R Us went with the old school thought process, and I
Yeah, yeah.
get what they were trying to do, but it wasn't the smart business move.
Mm-hmm.
Not in
Like
this
I
day
would
and
much
era.
rather listen. I would much rather have people come into the store, test out the toys,
Yeah.
and see if they're getting a good product. Absolutely, but is that a good business move? No,
No.
it's not a good business move
Not in
because
this era.
we're now in the digital and I'm going to say lazy era where we need convenience rather than actually putting an effort into things.
So I used to think that, Kyle, and I'm gonna put my opinion on there and just let you guys chew on this for a little bit because I thought about this, right?
Do
And
I?
the only reason why I thought about this is because of a lot of different situations that I've been through in my personal life, and
Yeah.
I kind of see it a little bit different now. I used to think the same thing when Stop and Shop started doing the "Hey, we'll shop for you, grocery shop for you, Peapod, and we'll drop it off." I was like, that is the laziest thing I have ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even grocery shop for yourself. Like, that is insane.
Mhm.
Think about it this way, right? We
Yeah.
compare to everything, all actions that everyone does to our own personal life, right? It is impossible for us to live the life of what everyone else lives. It's impossible. Nobody can do it, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
So we put it in the perspective of what our minds can comprehend, right?
Yep.
With saying that,
Mhm.
change your life for 1 second, right? Make your life to where you have, say you have 3 kids, right? All different ages. We're going to use my kids for example 6, 14, and 18, right? So, well, 17, right? I have 4 kids, but we're going to go 3 kids for an example, right? So 6, 13, and 17. So
Yep.
that's all over the spectrum: elementary school, middle school, high school. Actually, we'll say 14 because 14 is middle school, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
3 different schools, right? 3 different types of activities. Say you have all 3 kids inside activities: soccer, sports, extra school activities, band, um, student council, art. All these activities.
Yep.
You work like a regular parent, a 9 to 5, or actually, let's make it a little bit more convenient to the school schedule. Let's say 6 to 2. We're
Okay.
gonna say 6 to 2 because I did it 6 to 2. So you work in the morning and you get out when they get out for school. From the moment you get out, you do not sit down in your house until about 8 o'clock at night. Why? Because now you gotta take this kid to school dance. You gotta take this kid to the band. You have to take this kid to his sporting event. So by the time you get home,
Mhm.
Monday through Friday, you had no time to do anything. And before you know it, you look in your refrigerator, there is zero food in there, right? So now you add this feature of being able to go online, grab everything you need for food, that all you have to do is literally stop at Walmart. They come out, bring the food for you, put it in your car, and now all you have to do is walk home. Grocery
Mhm.
shopping within itself, with 3 children, which now again I have 4, 3 children, right? will take you an hour and a half. If you get out of the grocery store in an hour and a half, if, if you get out of the grocery store in an hour and a half, that is incredible. That is amazing.
Takes
That is
3 hours. 3 hours. 3 hours.
I knew. Listen, I knew Amy would come in and give me a more accurate representation of that.
if you get in and out of that store in an hour and a half, that means there's nobody in that store, right? And everything was on the shelf that you needed. And that list was perfect. And chances are you probably didn't have the kids with you. An hour and a half. An hour and a half, the best. You are not getting out of that store an hour and a half. You don't have an hour and a half because you know why? You have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the fucking morning, right? Oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. No, you start at work at 6 o'clock in the morning. So you have to get up at work for 5 o'clock in the morning, depending on how far you work away from work. So
Mhm.
now putting my life into that perspective, it all makes sense having that digital world. So not changing within those times to what's convenient now that all it takes is one business. One business open that door, guess what? Everyone falls in love with it and they see how convenient it is. Not just so much how lazy people are, just more of convenience. Now they're adding more time on their plate so they can do more things. So those type of things are actually helping our economy because it creates more jobs. Um, it's doing more things. It's just a problem of when you get places like Amazon that there is no storefront. That kind of sucks. But again, it's still creating a job because everyone's got to work within there, and you are creating more drivers. And now you have a whole new system that is computer operated. You have to have people that run that all the time because now there's more of a demand. You can't have downtime, bro. No downtime.
Mhm.
No downtime.
Mhm.
And trust me, those things crash all the time. And the more people you put on them, the more they crash. So, it's
Mhm.
it's a big cycle. So I don't even know what really led us into this conversation. But needless to say, GameStop is in trouble because they didn't change with the times. So they should have changed with the time. They should have allowed their place to come more of what PCG is, and I think that would have been a little bit um, opened that door. And I think if there's any place that could have done it, I believe we had that conversation here before.
I'm just wondering how we got from an E3 conversation all the way.
Because it all deals with money. It all deals with
Yeah.
money and changing with times, and that's kind of what it led with. So,
That's
and
what it like. That's what it was.
so with that, with E3 changing, they should have changed into a more, hey, what does everyone love about E3? It's a week-long event that we get to stream. What do we do at home? We stop everything, and we're at work with our phones like this.
This is true.
You know what I mean?
When it
Think
comes to
about that.
Definitely.
E3,
Think about that. They have IGN coming in. They have GameSpot coming in. Like, why aren't they charging these people to do this instead of saying, "Hey, you do it for free, or we're paying you"? Like, they need to monopolize that part of it, or make the media themselves, or hire one and say this is your media event. Now they're singling it, and now the only way people can watch it is through them, which now makes money for them because people are paying for TV spots or should I say streaming spots for advertisement. Because if anyone wants to watch E3, guess who the only place they can watch it through? IGN or GameSpot or whoever's
Hmm.
advertising. So now people are making
ooh,
there's so many different angles you can do this. And I'm not a business genius at all. At all.
mhm.
And that's all E3 has to do. And I know people are like, oh no, it's more than just that's all they have to do. No, that's all they have to do. They have to figure out a plan that will make that work instead of overpricing and overcharging these developers and publishers that can't afford it in the first place. And that's why they're bailing ship because now these people are saying, we don't need you anymore.
So I'm gonna say it like this: if IGN did, if IGN, um, if E3 did that, and they're like the only way you can watch E3 is through IGN, then you're gonna see a lot of people not even go to E3 or talk about it. Don't plan on what's good games with Andrea Renee and Brittany and Christine going there and talking about it. They won't. Don't see Greg Miller kind of funny talking about it. They might talk about what it was announced, but they won't talk about E3.
Hmm.
That's the thing. Like they're not gonna. They can do that, But in the end, then all these media personnel are just going to be like, screw this. And then it's going to still kill them
But there's a way they
in
can
the
make
end.
it work. There's if
The
they
only,
sit down and figure it out the best way that they can include those people into interact. I mean, think about it,
but,
right? The the
right.
the Super Bowl. Do you know the Super Bowl is only premieres on two channels? Two actual channels, like two broadcasts, right? So it's maybe more
Right.
channels on your TV, but technically it's only two broadcasts. Actually, it's only one. It's only one
Well,
broadcast.
they only pick one broadcasting station every year.
Right. So
Right.
that they're not afraid of how many people watch it because everyone will go to that fucking broadcast to watch it.
But let's put it this way: the Super Bowl's a little bit different than E3.
E3 used to be that way. How is it that more people were involved with E3 before, and it was less places you could only go to one place to watch it? I remember what it used to be like. Like now you have way too many options. Now there's way too many options. Now you're like, I don't know which one to watch.
Which is that what? Well, I mean, it's a good thing because it depends on who you want to listen to.
But
That's my
Yeah.
thing. Like if let's put it this way, if you hire IGN to solely do E3, and other people want to get involved, they might not want to get involved with what IGN's doing, so they just won't do anything. So they'll just back out completely. A lot of the I
Kyle,
don't see people
people
from
are backing
GameSpot.
out anyways.
I don't. Well, that's my point anyway. But it's just going to make it worse.
But they got to do something. They got to
They,
do something.
I know they have to do something. I mean, I like Andre's idea of making it different cities, but that's really hard to do. In the first, like E3 is in a horrible spot. Let's put it that way. They are in a horrendous spot. They have, distrusted their media partners from last year. Now with COVID going around, they had to cancel.
Hmm.
They're and now, like I said before, these companies are going to do digital events and they're going to see the worthwhile of doing a digital event. This is putting E3 in a horrible situation. And
Yeah.
this is why I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would not be surprised if next year all of a sudden you hear no E3 because nobody's going
I
to want to
wouldn't be.
go.
I wouldn't be surprised. Me, you, and Van already said after watching the Game Awards that it was better than E3, and that alone was already letting us know. Like the Game Awards is a
Except for
perfect
this year.
example.
This year's gaming awards. It's a little weird to me.
With the past year?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
2019.
all right. So this past year's gaming award, and that's the other thing too. It's like the gaming awards are kind of getting away from the awards itself,
Yeah,
and now it's
definitely.
becoming more of a
E3.
throw your world premieres, and now it's going to be the E3, but
Yeah,
it's only a one night event, and certain people are going, and we're just going to show our trailers
yeah,
there. It's more of a convenience because they don't have to spend money. They don't spend as
yeah.
much money in showing your trailers. They don't have to build this set. They don't have to do this ridiculous performance. They don't have to do different sets like PlayStation did with Last of Us. Like they don't have to do that. They just here's the trailer. Bam.
And I don't want
We
to. I
just
don't want
made
to
an
miss
impact.
that part. That's my worry about E3 being gone because yes, we get it at PAX, but it's huge at E3. Like how they do the setups and how they do the booths when you go to them. That's the only thing I give E3 over PAX. The booths and the setups are ridiculous, and you're gonna miss that. Like that's why you go. You know what I mean? That's almost like if I go to any event, if there's no setups or nothing, there's just the games around, I'm not gonna enjoy it as much because you want those pictures. Like you guys seen that PAX the cloud, you could the motorcycle, you could take the picture with. Like, come on, man, I don't want to miss that stuff.
But what Kyle's saying though is like stop with this stop with this switching stadiums to show some games. Just do E3 Microsoft 2019 next. Next.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm with
Don't
that.
even come
I'm
out
with
on the
that.
stage. Just
Yeah,
roll them every once in a while. Have a developer come out, talk quickly about his game. That I think is important. Like having some developers come out and talk about their games before the trailers come, just a little bit.
Yep.
I don't need a violinist out there.
oh,
Like
I'm 100%. I agree
like I don't
100%
need
with
all
that.
that. I don't need that. I don't the Just Dance thing. Fine, whatever. Ubi, you apparently have money to do that every year. Fine, that. But that. But that. But that's that game. I don't
Yeah,
get mad at Just
Right.
Dance. I get mad at how corny it is. But at the end of the day, that's that game. Like
that's the game, man.
it's not they're doing it for the game. Like that's what their game is about. So that's what's
Yeah,
selling their game. I don't need a violinist to sit out in front of God of War trailer and play every song. Like, I don't need that. Like I don't need that. It's exciting and it's cool, but after a while, it just becomes boring. And
yeah,
if you're spending, if that's going to cost you $100,000 to do, why are you doing it?
yeah.
Because I will bring up the Super Bowl this time because everybody says E3 is like the Super Bowl of video game conferences. So all these companies have to bring the pomp and pageantry of their games to the stage. So that way it like shows it off. It's like, oh, that looks cool. Like when Xbox brings out the numerous freaking vehicles they have for
I don't want to see
Forza.
that, man. No one wants to see that crap, man.
Well, here's the other thing too: is like, does anybody want to see the halftime show? Like, what?
Depending who's in it.
But
This year, everybody wanted to see it because they knew who
everybody,
was going to be on stage.
That's true. That's true. But like half the time, I hear it in my household. The halftime show comes on and they're all doing bathroom breaks. They're not watching.
Oh
that.
yeah, definitely.
Stuff
That's how
like
my house
that.
is. That's bathroom breaks, making some nachos, whatever you got to do. That's break time.
But that's like pomp and pageantry that the Super Bowl brings. And the only reason why the Super Bowl is so different is because the Super Bowl relates to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody in the country. Whereas
I mean, gaming kind of does now.
Gaming's up there, man.
I mean, it is getting to. I'll say like this: it is getting to that point, but there is somehow still like that big crowd that doesn't consider it like mainstream. Why? I don't get it. But they still consider like the Super Bowl to be a much bigger deal than E3 is. So, I mean, that's why they have to do that at E3. No, they feel like they have to do that at E3.
Yeah.
Only the three of us are sitting there going, they don't really have to just come out and show the game. And I'm sure a lot of other people agree with us on this as well. But there's probably that minority group that likes the pomp and pageantry of Just Dance coming out and dancing down the hallway. Exactly. I said minority.
But that's the thing too. Like
The minute.
They're spending too much money on it for that minute group that will be there no matter what at the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely. They are. But the ESA wants that because they'll pay them more money.
Right.
That's why it's going to be a big detriment to them not having it this year because, again, I've already said it twice, but all these companies are going to do digital events. And, I've already said it twice.
Yeah, I think that's where E3 needs to change. And if they don't, they're going to not come back. And that's it.
Yeah.
You either change and you adjust yourself accordingly or you don't come back. And that's what it is. It's like they want to do what they can do to make the most amount of money, but yet they don't want to do what they need to do to make the most amount of money. And it's funny because they're not paying attention. And that's what the problem is.
This is the Toys R Us syndrome. Toys R Us didn't want to go digital. They didn't want to go with websites. They had barely a website up. So Amazon approaches them and they say no. So now what happens? Amazon becomes this monopoly, which monopolies are not good actually, but they become this huge monopoly. Now they're selling toys and stuff like that. And now Toys R Us is like barely open. They're trying to reopen, but they're like barely open.
Yeah.
Like you have to change with the times. You do. E3 now has to change with the times. And maybe they do have to go with a digital route, man. Maybe they do take the drastic approach of going to different cities every year and making it like an XO. Maybe they do that. We don't know. If they treated, I'll say it like this as well. If they treated, I'm not going to say XO. I'm going to say if they treated E3 like it was a WrestleMania week for WWE, okay, now it's going to get better. And maybe that's
what I want.
Maybe that's the whole maybe that's the whole like fair type thing that they were talking about. Like, not carnival, but like there was a different word they said. But like anyway, they wanted to treat it like not as like a convention, but like an extravaganza. So
it should be.
Maybe it sounds like they're going that WWE WrestleMania type situation, where they'll have events and this and that and meet and greets.
That's
And all this
fine. Because Kyle, you know why that's fine and easy? Because all you have to do is get whatever sport arena there is, whatever. That's what usually WrestleMania does. Gets like the best, whatever city they go to, they get like the big basketball arena or
no,
whatever. You know,
Mania does stadiums now. That
yeah,
like they're going
stadium,
like they're
stadium.
going in Dallas Stadium and doing this shit,
Yeah,
or like well they'll never come here, but Gillette or like the new one in Atlanta or the new one in LA. They're doing all the big stadiums for
yeah,
WrestleMania. Not this year, but like
yeah.
E3 may have. I don't know if they wouldn't get like a basketball arena or anything like that, but like I don't see them going to New York and be like, "Hey, we're gonna rent out Madison Square Garden or the Barclays Center." Maybe,
I
but
mean,
I
they
don't.
could,
That,
they could.
but that's the thing. I don't think it's big enough to hold. That's it's definitely not big enough to hold that. They would have to be like, "Oh, we're in the Barclays Center and Madison Square Garden." But that would be tough because now you got to go to Brooklyn for one, and then you got to go to Manhattan for the other.
See,
I don't
I
know because like E3 was as big when I went to E3. Honestly, E3 wasn't that much bigger, not including the Microsoft building,
Yeah.
but E3 wasn't that much bigger than the Boston Convention Center. Like where they held E3 at, it's bigger. Don't get me wrong, but it's not that much bigger, and they had way more things there. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, man. Like they could literally host an event, like a huge event, like you're saying,
Mhm.
and they could do that at the Boston Convention Center. Like they can literally do that there.
But that's the thing I'm saying is like you have the LA Convention Center, but then
Yeah.
you also have the Microsoft Theater doing something else. Like you have all these big things going on
But
at the
that's
same
newer
time.
though. That's newer though. Remember, E3 used to be in the same building, guys. Like when they used to do it, Microsoft was in the same building. They
Yeah,
just started
that
doing
was
that.
yeah, but that was years ago. It was
Yeah.
years and years ago.
I just feel like it can be done. I feel like that would bring the excitement up if they just announce like the reason I say EXO because EXO is an appreciation for the fans. It's just giving out backpacks full of like freaking Xbox exclusive type crap and people winning systems just by guessing numbers and getting free gold and free game pass. So that's more of an appreciation for the fans. So if E3 did that, but then they had reveals and that type of stuff, that's man, you bringing it back to life doing that.
Mm, I agree.
yeah,
I agree with
yeah.
that.
Like the traveling thing, I think is good, but I think um I don't know if that will be what saves it. Um, but it
I'll say
definitely
help it. I would say help it, not save it, but help it.
it would definitely recreate it,
Yeah.
innovate it. That's definitely a different aim. But like they don't even have to go that far. They don't even have to do that. Just if they want to stick along the ideas of what they've always been known as, they can still do that. I mean,
Hmm.
what is E3 all about anyways? It's all media online anyways. Like
Yeah.
that is their biggest pitch. And I'm not saying don't have anything physical. They just need to at the end of the day, this is all they have to do to save E3. Figure out a way to cut costs so they don't have to overcharge developers and publishers. Period.
Agreed. Agreed.
Everyone and all the their problems right now isn't fans. Their problems are developers and publishers are not spending the money anymore. They're not coming. So if no one's coming, then that's going to create no one going to go to these because why? Why?
Yeah.
So they need to make a decision. Is it for the fans or is it for the media? Because
Hmm.
you can't have it for both. Because the media will come no matter what. But if it's going to be media focused, then they got to make it media focused. They just got to let these
Yeah.
publishers and developers understand what is E3. What is E3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. And E3 is a week long extravaganza, which is fantastic. You don't even have to single it down to one media, like I said. You can make it where it's the several different channels broadcasting different things at the same time. But then let's make it that. Let's make it
Yeah.
where we're
Yeah,
giving
I agree.
all. This is going to be a platform. E3 is about a platform where all these gaming companies get to finally talk about anything they have lined up for the year. Because that's
Hmm.
what it used to be about. It used to
Yes.
be about that. And
We
now,
had to read about all this. We had to
yeah,
read about all this.
yeah, yeah. So if that's what they want to do, then fine. They need to structure it where it makes sense for the gaming companies.
Exactly.
I agree. I think they really should just go back. I agree with you on this, Van, that they should go back to just solely media because then it gets back to that special feeling that E3 had, which was if you got an invite to it, then you could go. That was what was really special about E3 was that. Now that when they let the public in, again, I've said it before. I thought it was a great idea at first, and now it's kicking me in the ass because I thought it was because now it's turning to be a really bad idea.
Yeah.
I think it needs to go back to what its bread and butter was, which was if you got an invite to it, then it's special. It becomes a special event that you can attend. At that point. It felt like you earned it. That's why.
I just wanted to share breaking news, non-video game related. Marcus Smart test positive for corona.
Yeah. And 2 Laker players too. They haven't said who.
Because
Yeah.
you know it's gonna be LeBron.
Don't do that, man.
For real,
Man, don't do that.
You know it's gonna be LeBron.
It's definitely gonna be LeBron. How much he goes around, I can definitely see that.
Do you guys want to know why they didn't re-sign Brady?
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
That's
boy.
not even a joke. Sorry.
Stupid,
You're
dog.
gonna try to make a joke right now.
Man, you evil bastard.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Sorry, bad joke.
Well, since you want to talk about breaking news, then Sakurai did say we already know about the whole fighter pass delay, but they just revealed on IGN that he's saying now that they might not have a fighter season pass to indefinitely if they find out that the coronavirus was found in the building, because there's rumors it might have been in the production building.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'll send it to you guys. Oh, I'm trying to. I don't know why my phone ain't letting me.
Yep. Crazy time. Like
This is terrible, man.
Sean Payton got diagnosed earlier today.
Sean Payton, yep.
Yeah, not a good time. But
When they released Tom Hanks had it hurt.
Yeah, because it hit home when that happened. It was like, wow. Idris Elba now, like it's crazy, man.
Yeah, it hurt.
it's gonna hit when like celebrities get it because, I mean, people aren't taking it serious anyway. But you have to be aware. You have to just do the right things. Wash. Don't just use sanitizer, guys. I know sanitizer can work, but you do still have to wash your hands and clean yourself here.
Yep.
I know a lot of gamers out there don't like to do that. Not trying to stereotype, but I know a lot of gamers don't like to wash it. Wash your hands. Touch a game, wash your hands.
Yep.
So sing the happy birthday song as many times as you want. Just wash your hands.
Yeah, I usually sing it like 3 times and do the black version.
Whatever version you want, just sing the happy birthday song at least twice while you're washing your hands.
All right, I'm trying to send this link to you guys again. Hold up.
Send them links.
I think it's because I'm on Google Hangout. It's not letting me do it.
Well, while you're doing that, last question of the night, and this is a gaming question. Are you more excited for Animal Crossing
Doom
or Doom? Andre, I knew he was going to say that because
I'm excited for both. I actually I love the crossovers that have been all over online. They're the funniest things ever, and both of the developers like it a lot. They both keep saying that it's real cool that they're doing the crossovers of Animal Crossing and Doom. Doom guy meeting Isabel, Isabel on his shoulder shooting up people. I think it's pretty cool, and I like how they're both collaborating on it. But this is the classic definition of preference. This reminds me of when Assassin's Creed and Mario Odyssey came out. Remember, they came out the same day, and they both were called Odyssey. Kyle, we'll never forget that. It was like, all right, do I want to play Mario Odyssey or I'm playing Mario, even though I love Assassin's Creed. I'm playing Mario because it's freaking Mario. Get the hell out of here. And when it comes to Animal Crossing and Doom, I mean, if you want blood and a whole bunch of violence, like Van said, get Animal Crossing if you want peace to relax with your family and chill out. But if you just want to go to hell and rip everybody up and shoot up the whole world, then yeah, go play Doom.
Doom looks fantastic.
It really does.
Doom's been getting very, very, very good scores.
I already knew it was gonna though. I mean, it was kind of. They delivered on everything, and like Van said this one. I remember when Doom just came back out with the yellow cover, and Van was like, "The thing about Doom is there's no game in this world, no matter what comes out, that has more constant action, like ever. And literally, Doom's only done that more and more. And this one looks like it's gonna be
Fast,
through the roof fast,
fast,
like
Oh yeah,
nonstop.
fast game. That game is just like boom, 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 boom. I'm just like, oh my god.
Yep.
But both good games coming out, and Animal Crossing is getting okay scores, 7.5s, 8s, so around there. So
I saw it getting 9s.
yeah, I haven't looked at everyone. I looked at like 4 sites, seen the fact that it's even getting anything above a 7 to me is mind blowing. But you know,
Oh wow, that's a statement. There are a few people I know. If you said that statement, they would like.
oh, I already know, Kyle.
They
I
would
know,
go
I know
Doom on
the,
you.
I know the Animal Crossing lovers out there. Trust me, I know.
It's a
I have
good
a,
game. Leave it
I have
alone.
a few friends like that. I mean, I'm going to take the cop out answer on this one.
What's the cop out, Kyle?
I'm excited for both. I was like, I could say like, I'm more excited about Doom, but like, I've never been like the biggest Doom. I think it's good games, but I'm not like hardcore Doom fan.
Yeah, me too.
Like but
For
like,
neither one of them, I'm with that. I'm not a hardcore fan of either one. It's just like I like them both, though.
yeah, and I always said like, Doom's a really good game, but Animal Crossing is the type of game I need right now.
Yeah.
The last Doom was fantastic.
Doom 2016 was amazing.
Yeah.
Was amazing.
Like I don't know how they do it all the time. Doom is just one of those legendary games that you
Yeah.
didn't think could be made good, and they somehow do it every time.
Mm-hmm.
That's because they make incredible gameplay. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah. And they stick to their roots, man. They don't switch up. They just add better graphics, but they don't switch up. You play the old one, it's still the same. It's just better graphics
Yeah.
and faster.
Yeah, they intensify it. They look to break the
Yeah,
mold, and they do it every time.
every time.
The last topic that we had on here is just Xbox and Ubi will host digital events following E3 cancellations. So you can still expect. I think you can expect digital. They're saying that there's supposed to be digital events pretty much all week still.
Yeah. Speaking of digital, a lot of these movie companies out here, if you're looking for release dates, and they're delaying a lot of movies, like some are pushed all the way to next year. A lot of these movie companies, starting with Universal Studios, they're going to be pushing their movies that are in theaters digitally, so you can get them on demand. Like Invisible Man just came out. That movie with Vin Diesel, Bloodshot. I want to see that. That one's coming out like in 3 days on demand.
I just want to say, right? People need to calm the f down with the reviews saying that Bloodshot is better than any Marvel movie that was ever. No,
I don't want to hear that. I don't even want to. I don't even want to hear that. I don't even
like
want to get a taste of that.
people are so stupid.
But I only brought that up because I think that's big, because movies like Quiet Place that are supposed to come out, Mulan, I hope all of them do this. I really hope they all say, hey, you guys can literally stay home and get these movies on demand instead of waiting until next year.
Speaking of movies, watched Sonic yesterday.
Oh,
Since this game event, talk about it, because you see my review on it, and I need to know what you think about it without spoiling it, because Kyle hasn't seen it.
yeah, and I still haven't seen it.
Fantastic. They did a really good job with it. I think Jim Carrey. I haven't seen Jim Carrey play in a role in a long time. And like Jim Carrey used to like aggravate me sometimes with some of his roles. But like it was so different. Like that's all I could say.
Yeah,
It's different. Like it was Jim Carrey, but they. I didn't know how they would fit him in as Dr. Eggplant, and
Doctor, I'm sorry.
sorry,
He playing me.
sorry.
Oh, I feel
you
so
played Kyle really
I
good.
feel so special right now. Jim
Dr.
Carrey,
Wiley.
Dr. Eggplant. I mean, I am a little goofy.
Dr. Wiley. And
Dr. Wiley.
Eggman, Robotnik.
Flipping.
Robotnik. Dr.
Robotnik.
Robotnik. And like we've never really got to see the personality of Dr. Robotnik besides in the
Nope.
cartoons, and they kind of change him up a lot.
Yeah,
But I think he did a really good job. Like
he did great.
I would have to say the most impressive thing I thought was the cop. I thought they were gonna make his role really corny because like he was
Everyone
in
did, man. Everyone did.
they made his role like a serious role, which is
It was
weird.
cool. It was really
Yeah,
cool,
like
man.
it was serious without being serious, but without giving too much away, they did a great job on the character Sonic, and his personality,
Thank
and
God for the remake, man. Thank God for the remaster,
but
the remake they did
so
on him.
let me say this, right? If they didn't, if they kept everything the same, and left it to the old animation, I think it definitely would have took away from what they produced.
Yeah.
Because everything was produced exactly like the game. Like
Yep.
this was the Sonic from the cartoons, from the game.
Yeah.
Like this was the Sonic that we all love, and that's what I really, really, really liked.
Yep.
And most importantly, the little bit of backstory that they did show in there,
Oh,
uh,
we ain't gonna talk about that, man. That was fire.
yeah, that was probably the best part. And
Yeah.
to be honest, they didn't even scratch the surface on it. All I gotta
Not at all.
say is 100% get ready for more. That's all I
Oh
gotta
yeah,
say.
yeah,
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 I
yeah.
gotta watch
He
this
has
movie.
he
Yeah.
has 5 movies planned. He has 5 movies planned. He said after
And
the success of this, he has 5 movies planned, which
yeah,
I am pumped.
the way they designed the movie, it was 100% designed to be ready for more, and that's not spoiling anything. That's
Yeah,
There's nothing that specifically happens in this movie. It's just the way this movie begins, like how Iron Man 1 begins, how
yeah,
Thor 1 begins, how
yeah.
all these original movies begin, where they're like, we're gonna give him a backstory, and we're just gonna give you
Exactly.
a taste of this, and this is gonna open up the door for everything else. So if this works, then I'm very happy they decided to take it back to the drawing board, um,
Agreed.
because the artwork would have probably ruined this movie.
It would have. It would have. People would have hated it.
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
and for what? Because it was a great movie. It was a great movie without that artwork. But them making that artwork and changing it, it made you appreciate the movie that much more.
Agreed.
I
That
got you.
shows that they knew what they had on their hands.
I'm gonna try to send you the digital version I got. I have a digital version. I'm gonna see if I can send you my login info so you can get in.
Ah, okay, okay.
And you have to see it. You have to see.
You'll love it.
I
I was
mean, it's
very
mandatory that
impressed.
I eventually see this movie. So,
And the end of it was even better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you know what that means, Kyle. We don't have to say anymore. You know what that means.
I probably can already guess what it is.
No, 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 no. I don't mean like post credits. I mean like how it ended, like with everything. Like
That was fire.
it's just, it's very important. It's
That's what I'm
very,
saying. I
very
probably can
important.
guess what it is.
Yeah, it's very important. No, you won't guess. You won't guess. Like it's not something like, oh yeah,
Oh,
this is something that happens within the Sonic universe. It's nothing like that. It's just how they set it up was very, very big. So,
Yeah, that was
yep.
fire.
but there's something that I do need to talk to you about, Andre. That happened at the beginning, and I want to see if you noticed it because I heard nothing about it.
I know what it is. I know what you're talking about already.
And it's something they showed that I don't even think a lot of people realize they showed. So
Yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about that.
it's just I felt like the beginning of that reminded me a whole lot of like Deadpool. Like I had no idea. Have you guys both seen Deadpool
Of course.
2? Deadpool 2.
Yeah, I've seen both of them.
How about you,
Nope.
Kyle? Do you
Nope.
plan on seeing Deadpool 2? Like if I said who the bad guy was, would that ruin it for you?
I'm probably not gonna watch it anytime soon. Not gonna
Okay.
lie.
So anyone else, I don't care. If you're watching and this spoiled it for you, fuck you.
How long has Deadpool 2 been out?
Oh, for a while. For a while.
Like
Yeah,
over a year, right?
Yeah, yeah. So for me,
yeah.
So
this
if
was
you haven't watched it yet, you could get spoiled. So
for me, this was a very big deal because this is my favorite villain of all time. But I had no idea Juggernaut was going to be in that movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Zero
that was
oh
idea.
fire.
shit.
Zero idea. I didn't have a slightest
Ah,
idea he was.
I was the same.
And so I kept trying to think of who was in that room, and then I was like, no, no, they wouldn't put him in the movie because, like, I just kind of didn't even think past it because of the fact that even though he has the interaction with the X-Men, I was like, it's not gonna make it. And as soon as that train flipped over, I was like, this is gonna be fucking Juggernaut. This is gonna be Juggernaut, right? And then Juggernaut came out, and they showed what he looked like. I lost my mind. That made in my mind Deadpool 2 the best comic book movie ever. Like Deadpool 2 was just because of Juggernaut was phenomenal, and I have no idea how that was not spoiled for me.
hmm.
I know, especially because you're on the superhero page. That page is crazy. They don't ever stop.
Oh no, my comic book page. Oh, I have strict rules, man. I have very strict rules. I've kicked people out of that group for spoiling things. Oh, they know I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole. Like people have gotten to like try to get into arguments with me, and I just kick them right out. I
That's
don't
the
get.
best thing about being the manager.
Yeah, I started it. Like I started. It wasn't like, oh yeah, no, I became the admin. Like I created that group just for like me and 10 friends. And then a couple of
Hmm.
those friends said, "Hey, do you mind if I invite other friends?" And I'm like I just kind of made this so we can talk like amongst friends. And now we have
Hmm.
I think like 400 people in there.
Yeah, your group's forced now.
Yeah. So like but like I have very strict rules in there. Like I'm like I don't care. I like when Avengers 2 came out, I was like I don't IGDF. I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a
You spoil this, I'm kicking you out. Period.
Yeah, I'm with
Period.
that.
Like seriously. But yeah, gotta see it, Kyle. Gotta see it.
I will
Gotta
definitely
see it fast.
definitely be seeing. Gotta
I
see it
see what
fast.
you're doing. I
I'm
see what
my,
you're
oh,
doing.
oh. Only me and Andre would catch something like that, you know.
Hmm.
Gotta see it fast.
Um, so other than that, was there anything else that you guys wanted to go over or talk about?
Uh, be happy, be healthy, wash your hands,
Wash
be
your
safe out,
asshole.
be safe out there.
Yes.
That's all I can say. Just be
Uh,
aware.
6 foot rule,
6 foot rule.
guys.
Unless you
Don't.
have 20 kids like me and Van.
In that case, you already have it.
Just gotta deal with it.
One
Well,
person has it. You guys all have it. Might as well
well, adios, Andre. Oh,
might as well just count it as a loss. Yeah. But yeah, no, just at all seriousness, man, guys, just don't be stupid, don't be foolish. Take this serious, whether you think it's, a government thing or whatever you believe in. It's a real thing that's out there right now. A lot of people
Hmm.
are getting it. If you're not worried about it for you, worried about it for somebody else then.
yep.
Be
Agree.
considerate. This
Yep.
is this is a serious thing going around. Just don't have to be afraid of the hype. Just at the same time, take care of yourself.
Don't panic.
Yep.
Agreed.
Do not panic.
Yep.
Agreed.
Be aware.
Exactly. So, on that note, guys, I think that's it. Are we signing out?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So we'll catch you guys here, Corona or not, next week. Same time, same channel. Till then, be safe. Game on. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.